Hey guys, tonight we're diving into one of the curious quirks of history, things that might just boggle your sleepy brain. So, get cozy with your softest blanket and let the hum of your fridge become the ambient soundtrack. Maybe you've got a lazy dog dozing at your feet or a cat curled up on your pillow. But honestly, you probably won't survive this without cracking a comfortable grin or two. Before you get too comfy, feel free to tap like or subscribe, but only if you're genuinely enjoying the calm around here. Tell me where you're listening from and what time it is over there. I love seeing how far this sleepy little journey reaches. Now go ahead and lower the lights. Maybe let a fan hum in the background, and let's drift gently into tonight's story together. You wake up in a land far, far away, in a time when donuts were just theoretical shapes and phones that light up your face at 2 a.m. didn't exist. But even then, they had one thing figured out: moving stuff from point A to point B without breaking a sweat. That's right, we're talking about the wheel, but not the disco ball version we're familiar with. Picture this. You're strolling through a quiet village with little huts leaning like gossiping old friends. Now, if you squint just right, you'll see their version of wheels. Imagine them more as rectangles. Yes, you heard that right. Rectangular, or in some cases, triangular wheels. Nice for a bumpy ride, you think, as you sip an invisible latte, and imagine the tire sellers nowhere near inventing round tires yet. The ancient Sumerians, probably feeling pretty clever, actually did come up with the true wheel around 3500 BC. And while the kids these days might roll their eyes at this invention like they do about, I don't know, PhD memes, this was a big deal. It meant chariots, easier labor, and a smaller market for chiropractors. Now, historians love to argue if the wheel was revolutionary by itself, or if it was the road system that really jazzed things up. I mean, you could have the flashiest car, but on a road with potholes the size of puddles, you get SpongeBob memories from. Even your best Spotify playlist won't save you. Here's a little quirky tidbit you'll love. People later thought of putting this Stone Age era tool into fun shapes. Because why make a simple cart when you can boggle everyone by having rectangles rumble down the Neolithic highway? And okay, so here's the wild part. Can you imagine trying to move hay bales or building stones with a square wheel and trying not to spill your hot cocoa? That picture is enough to make you giggle, because let's face it, it's just a little like setting alarms and ignoring them when you know you're supposed to be responsible. At least their original wheels didn't require updates every 3 days and frantic "forgot my password" button pushes. So, as you close your eyes tonight and your phone's glow fades away, remember that even the most revolutionary ideas started as a bit of a bumpy ride. And as you listen to that fan quietly lull you to sleep, know that a rectangle rolling clockwise once sparked a future of inventions. Dreams can be square and still take you somewhere. Who knew? You stretch out and feel the gentle coolness of the night air, easily ignoring the part of your brain that's nudging about tomorrow's to-do list. But let's dive right into another tale of ancient wonder, because honestly, some things are too intriguing to leave behind. Imagine stepping into an ancient city where, instead of echoes and dust, the sound of running water is playing its never-ending tune. You might be tempted to compare this rhythm to that one playlist you always use to focus, but never actually start working to. This is where we meet the Harappan civilization, a sprawling mass of organized chaos in what's now known as Pakistan and Northwest India. These folks weren't just about building your standard huts or stacking bricks for fun. Nope, they had something much more swanky: plumbing. Yes, plumbing. You walk into one of their ancient cities and find that the people had the audacity to have a bathroom setup that some of us would trade our mint-flavored toothpaste for. The intricacies of their water systems were something of a masterpiece. From public baths that teased the warmth of communal relaxation to sophisticated drainage systems that probably inspired your shower drain's raison d'etre. And let's be honest, comparing their polished techniques to our modern, oh no, the sink's clogged again with who knows what, makes their accomplishments even more mind-boggling. Historians still argue whether these inventors were truly the originators of such an elaborate sanitary system, or whether they snuck a peek at someone else's blueprint. I mean, isn't that how the modern phrase, "just Google it," might have echoed in those ancient halls? Here's a weird side note that'll tickle the edges of your dreams. Excavations revealed intricate bathroom accessories, almost like discovering a box of unopened tech gadgets from the past when you were expecting yet another set of IKEA instructions. It's the little details, like terracotta pipes, that make you chuckle and rethink how often you should be changing your shower curtain liner. You won't believe this, but every Harappan home was connected to these drains, leading to sewerage systems. It's like every house had Wi-Fi, even before Wi-Fi became a meme in your group chat about who accidentally lagged out again during game night. The biggest debate, though, revolves around how the Harappans disappeared, leaving all this water wisdom behind like a forgotten smartphone app you once promised to use daily. Imagine this: lying in your cozy away-from-it-all bathtub, bubbles tickling your nose, and wondering if those ancients felt as luxuriously pleased with themselves as you do now. Next time you hear water softly splashing, or rain gently tapping against your windows, remember that some sounds have been soothing for millennia. As thoughts drift and those eyelids grow heavier, let the notion that ingenious minds so long ago decided that clean water warranted its own dance wash over you. In a world of fast-paced alerts and constant notifications, sometimes it's magic to think of simplicity that made everyday life just that much more livable. Rest easy knowing your own internal plumbing, dreams and heartbeats, orchestrates better than any top-of-the-line gadget, cradling you into deeper sleep. In the quiet stillness of night, where even the hum of your laptop fan has drifted into a lullaby-like cadence, let's wander into another era filled with mystery and sparks. Literally. Picture this: a blazing concoction, kind of like that kitchen experiment gone wrong when you tried to make pasta and ended up with marshmallow fluff all over the counter. The Greek fire, they called it, an ancient weapon that even now sounds straight out of a fantasy novel. It is the stuff of legends, folks. You stroll into the bustling Byzantine Empire, where ships cut through the sparkling waves of a sunlit sea, and trade routes were the medieval version of trending TikToks, absolutely everywhere. But the real party trick up their sleeves was this incendiary blend that could burn even on water. You heard that right. Water was no match for this fiery magic. Now imagine being an enemy ship closing in, confident and strong, only to watch in bewilderment as the liquid flames snake across waves like a rebellious teenager sneaking its way through the door after curfew. The Greek fire was the original "I'll take it from here" statement, and maybe even spark the same kind of excitement as a viral unboxing video. Historians still argue in circles about what exactly comprised this fearsome liquid. Was it a secret blend of sulfur, naphtha, and quicklime? Or did ancient grill masters have a say in this? It remains as elusive as that closet key you always seem to misplace when you're getting ready for an important morning meeting. And here's a quirk to muse over as you burrow deeper under those covers. The recipe for Greek fire was such a guarded secret that it vanished along with its last guardian into the shrouds of time. Imagine having a skill set that's not only immensely powerful, but also fades like an old photograph when the one person with the password mysteriously misplaces it. It's like deleting an app to make space and realizing you've forgotten your login details forever. Now, here's a chuckle-worthy moment. Ponder on how Byzantine naval forces were like that friend who knows just when to drop obscure facts at a party to keep everyone impressed. Their confidence stood, chests out, hands in pockets, while competitors were left trying to guess and mimic. A bit of role reversal for any copycat social media trends. So tonight, as your eyelids flutter like forgotten butterflies and your thoughts swim along in tranquil oceans, remember the bravery of flames that defied water. Imagine the warmth and crackle of that mysterious fire, maybe turning chilly rain into cozy campfire nights. After all, the real magic was not just in the fire itself, but in the mysterious allure it carries even now, daring you to lean just a little closer, to listen for its secrets. Let sleep slowly cast its gentle wash over you, knowing there are mysteries out there that not only dim, but fuel the imagination, keeping the embers of curiosity eternally burning. In the gentle dark, where your thoughts meander like lazy tendrils of mist rolling over a quiet lake, let's journey to a time when straight lines and angles shaped dreams. Picture walking through the ancient streets of Rome, guided more by instinct than a GPS telling you your internet connection is unstable. The buildings rise like colossal bookends to an old story, and the secret behind their enduring strength lies at your feet, in Roman concrete. Now, if we could conjure a cocktail named after this ancient blend, it would definitely include something unexpected with a twist of volcanic ash. The Romans, ever the resourceful engineers, crafted a concrete with a concoction so unique it's still standing today, defying time and probably a few earthquakes too. Historians often hold lively debates, much like those debates in which you wonder whether to hit snooze or power off, about what exactly made this concrete recipe so special. Was it the precise mixing technique? The unique combination of lime, pozzolana, and seawater? Or was it just Roman dedication, matched in fervor, only by folks binging detective shows while cozy in bed? Here's a quirky tidbit to weave into your soft thoughts. While our modern concrete can crumble in the wash of sodium-rich waters, the Roman variety actually gets stronger with the element it most dreams of: seawater. Isn't that just like rooting for the underdog? You never expect them to win. And yet, there they are, outlasting everything. And here's the wild part. Imagine those ancient Roman architects hanging out in modern-day boardrooms, their togas blending beautifully with colorful slideshows, watching their time-tested concrete confound scientists who muse over lab coats and PowerPoint. Meanwhile, back in your cozy nook, you might feel a small comfort knowing that even the best, like Roman concrete, started from humble materials. So next time you hear the gentle thump of rain against your window, Or maybe your phone vibrates with one too many unread emails, best intentions to reply, floating gently in their midst. Remember that sometimes empires and extraordinary things alike are built slowly and steadily, grain by time-resistant grain. As you drift deeper, like unseen seeds in fertile soil, finding their rhythm in a ceasefire silence, reflect on these ancient architects whose blueprints remain drawn in the fabric of our world. There's a soothing reassurance in knowing that whether it's Roman ingenuity or simply the tap of a fan in the background, the past whispers stories that reinforce the enduring structures, waiting to cradle you into dreams laced with gentle, stony echoes. There's something gently mesmerizing about the soft tick-tick of unseen gears, like the click of a well-worn spacebar in a silent room. Tonight, let's meander through time to meet the Antikythera mechanism, a contraption lost beneath waves and legends, a relic once as mysterious as your friend's last seen status when you need them most. Picture this. You stroll past the gently rusting hull of an ancient shipwreck, submerged in the crystal-clear waters off a Greek island. The sun dapples waves above, as though trying to send Morse code from some distant star. It's here that divers unearthed a green, barnacle-encrusted object, something between a treasure and a tempting puzzle for the ages. Thought to be the world's first analog computer, this mechanism is what allowed ancient Greeks to predict celestial patterns. Imagine, if you will, a device the size of a shoebox that could calculate the movement of planets. It's like having one of those elaborate, stunningly complex Excel sheets that you swear by, but can never fully explain to others, even if something sparks and catches inside, dawning like first light when it clicks. Historians still argue, the good-natured back and forth, akin to debating which streaming service is truly the best bang for your buck, about who actually engineered this marvel. Was it Archimedes himself, who dreamt up this intricate web of gears and cogs? Or did he look over someone's shoulder, whispering ideas like an ancient tech inspiration? Here's something to tease the edges of your dreamy mind. The mechanism could track lunar phases and eclipses, predicting celestial events with chilling accuracy, almost akin to scrolling your digital calendar without that joyful ping of inevitable reminders. The device, with its interlocking parts, tells the same tale the stars tell, a timeless narrative sketched in shadows and light. Here's a little chuckle moment. Imagine presenting this ancient wonder in a modern showroom, jawbone glass displays and all. Would it rival the excitement of a smartwatch with all the bells and whistles? Probably, though this one prefers to track the dance of Jupiter over counting steps or calories. As you snuggle deeper into your blankets, let the whisper of celestial paths lull you to sleep. The Antikythera mechanism stands as a reminder, a beacon among the deep blue mysteries, that the stars sing a song as old as time and refined as today's tiniest transistor. Dreams and reality blend, like those gears, endlessly aligning, weaving threads of history into the tapestry of your sleep. Let your own inner cosmos spin with simple wonder as you drift into the space between thoughts, where nightly adventures play, each turn of the gear, each note in a lullaby. As the midnight hour gently unfurls, let's travel to the mountains of a vast empire, where strings woven with secrets and stories dance beneath your fingers like the soft fur of a sleepy pet. Enter the world of the Incas, where communication didn't require a power button or backlit screens, but relied on the subtle art of the quipu. Picture yourself walking along a narrow Andean path, the crisp air brushing past like a whisper. High above, the peaks pierce the sky, and below, Valleys cradle fields like long-lost dreams of green. In this remote part of the world, the Incas weaved tales with colorful strings knotted in intricate patterns. The quipu was their notepad, their abacus, an archive of history spun and tied into something tangible. Imagine a series of these cords hanging in a yard or lounging on a desk, waiting to unravel tales of trade, inventory, or even perhaps secret stories. Less spoiler alert, more spoiler unravel with a flourish. Here's a wild fact for your dreamy thoughts. These knots encoded both numbers and possibly narrative, forming a base 10 numerical system centuries before the world would fall in love with tech's far-reaching digits. It's the ancient world's method of send me the details in a text, minus the typos and autocorrect fails. Historians still argue about the full extent of what these knots could communicate. Were they strictly numerical, or did they convey stories and messages, weaving a tapestry of culture in their quiet existence? It's similar to debating if mashed potatoes were made for comfort food or just a vehicle for gravy. Equally savory, whatever the outcome. And here's the peculiar touch. Quipus were often part of grand ceremonies, read by the Quipuca Mayaks, trained officials with as keen an eye for detail as that art teacher who always caught your creative flair. Go ahead, chuckle at the thought of someone knitting a novel when nowadays we struggle to craft a succinct email before hitting send and immediately regretting it. So as you settle into the depths of your soft sheets, consider those colorful cords, keeping centuries tightly wound in their creative embrace. Each knot captures something ephemeral, yet essential, echoing the connectedness our own lives weave, digitally speaking, across time zones and through windows of pixelated light. Let the rhythm of those knots and the mystery they ensnare gently rock you towards sleep, where every breath is its own silent melody, leaving no loose ends in the close-knit tapestry of night. You sink deeper into the plush comforts of the night, drifting through a gentle haze of ancient ingenuity. Tonight, we find ourselves in ancient China, feeling the pulse of the earth through a bronze curiosity, a device as remarkable and enigmatic as your collection of unanswered emails. I'm talking about the seismoscope, an early earthquake detector that seems to whisper warnings like a sage with an impeccable weather app. You stroll through a vibrantly bustling city during the Han Dynasty, where traders exchanged silk and stories as easily as we now exchange emojis. Then your eyes catch the gleam of a bronze vessel decorated with dragons, poised and powerful, their mouths dutifully clutching round balls that are suspiciously not meant for fetch. This was Zhang Heng's brainchild, a seismoscope designed to detect tremors with the grace of an ancient oracle. Picture those dragons, each representing a direction, waiting patiently, doing their part in a cosmic chess game. When a quake stirred distantly, one particular dragon would release its grip, dropping a ball elegantly into the mouth of an open-mouthed frog below, signaling the tremor's direction. Yes, it was a symphony of dragons, frogs, and physics playing on an invisible stage. Historians still argue whether this device actually detected the intensity of an earthquake or just acted as a theatrical acrobat, performing with perfection for the delight of an audience limited to those who'd understand it. A curious debate, much like deciding if your pet understands your life goals based on how it stares into your soul and into its next meal. Here's your quirky tidbit to tuck away. When a ball dropped, its musical clink was the ancient iteration of a text alert. But instead of glancing at a screen, people possibly gathered with a mix of awe and alarm, listening to bronze murmur its cautionary tale in the language of physics. And here's your chuckle for the night. Can you imagine giving a school presentation about this elegant system with its dramatic flair? The dragons, each having their own TikTok dance, perhaps. I can see the comments filling with playful interpretations and cleverly knitted conspiracy theories. So, as rain plays its age-old tune against your roof, and you cozy up with dreams laced with dragons and ancient wisdom, let them guide your thoughts into a serene slumber. Consider how this ancient instrument responded to nature's whispers. Just like our own senses sometimes tease us with intuition, guiding us softly through life's tremors. Allow your consciousness to flutter to and fro like a ball between dragon clutches, drifting quietly to where dreams reside, awaiting discovery. As you nestle deeper into the folds of your blankets, let's float back into the scrolls of time to the land of the pharaohs, where the night sky birthed a color as vibrant as a fresh meme, endlessly shared yet timeless. Imagine the world of Egyptian blue, a hue so deeply entrenched in the fabric of history that its brilliance still dazzles, much like a perfectly timed morning coffee when you really needed it. You wander through ancient Egypt, where the desert winds tease the edges of your imagination and the pyramids cast shadows long and cool across the sun-baked earth. Here, artisans and alchemists concocted the first synthetic pigment, a blue so rich it seemed stolen from the midday sky. Egyptian blue was more than a color. It was the Photoshop of the era, adding hues to murals, statues, and tombs, almost like updating your profile pic with a fancy new filter. It was crafted from a mixture of silica, lime, copper, and alkali, heated to a glow in a kiln, much like baking the world's fanciest porcelain cookie with an unmatched recipe. And here's your dreamy quirk. This blue glows under infrared light, perhaps a gentle reminder that even under the veil of history, some things can still illuminate the darkness. It's as if the ancient Egyptians left behind a piece of invisible magic to say, hey, in the right light, we're all still here, like digital traces whispering across centuries. Historians still debate the extent to which Egyptian blue influenced other cultures. Did it spill across borders and palettes, or did its glow remain largely Egyptian, much like deciding whether ancient memes were universal or localized fun? It's a puzzle wrapped in pigment and possibility. For a light chuckle, imagine the ancient artisans comparing shades, squabbling over which vat of pigment looked more socially shareable, grinning while they added a sly touch of genius to their creations. Did you increase the contrast on that cartouche? One might have mused. As your eyelids grow heavier, let them dance with visions of azure skies and starry reflections, echoing the artistry of a world that crafted an enduring masterpiece color by color. Let the ghostly glow of Egyptian blue paint your dreams with whispers of the past. Woven with every thread, the history of this magical pigment cradles you into slumber, ensuring that even in the deepest night, there's a light that dances just for you in this timeless connection between then and now. Allow yourself to sink a little further into the night's embrace. The room quiet, but for the gentle white noise that soothes like a whispered lullaby. Picture stepping into a place of calm and purpose. An ancient monastery nestled within rolling hills, echoing with the soft rustle of parchment. This is the medieval scriptorium, where the diligent hands of monks made sure stories never faded. Imagine, in a dim room, bathed in daylight reflecting off stone walls, rows of monks in habits. Their fingers dance with quills, copying texts word by word beneath the silent glow of candles that flicker like they're trying to keep secrets. In the days before copy and paste and send to all, monks undertook the noble task of transcription, driven by dedication and, let's face it, a level of patience that would rival any of today's best binge watchers. The beauty of their work lay in the details. Illuminated letters that shimmer even now, as they did then. Turns of gold leaf so artfully applied, it's like adding sparklers to a birthday cake. Each book a masterpiece, adorned with margins colored by the monk's thoughts, doodles, and sometimes just a cheeky hidden note about the weather. Here's a quirky piece to ponder. Margins and spacing were precious, just like emojis that end up livening a stern message. Mistakes couldn't be corrected with a button, but had to be cunningly incorporated or forgotten under illustrations, the medieval equivalent of fixing typos with flair. Historians murmur discussions about how much creative freedom monks had inside the scriptorium, or if every inscription bore the weight of pious authority, a bit like wondering how much of a meme's humor was intentional or just happy accident. The art of transcription was more than a job. It was a legacy, not unlike the endless scroll through feeds to find that one post that leaves an impact. And here's a little laugh. Imagine a monk and all their parchment piled up, giving a sarcastic, resigned smile akin to digging through research folders or trying to organize the 27 tabs forever open on your browser. Organization, they might say, is just medieval chaos. As you lie between the pages of your own dreams, envision your thoughts as ink flowing across the vellum of your mind, swirling, curling, painting memories in a language that dreams alone can decipher. In the scriptorium of night, let each heartbeat turn the page, gently guiding you toward a tender, story-filled sleep, where peace writes its tales in elaborate, caring strokes. And perhaps in the quietest hours, the whispers of quills and the echoes of history will settle around you, as timeless as the longing for a good night's rest across all ages. You curl deeper into the embrace of your blankets, the soft glow of fairy lights resting on your shelf like a halo, casting gentle shadows reminiscent of dreams yet to unfold. In this reverie, let's journey to the cradle of steam, a place where the gentle hiss and hum of history's first steam engine sings its quiet ode, the Iolipile. In ancient Alexandria, when science was art, and art was all a form of exploration, a mathematician named Hero introduced this curious contraption to a world that didn't yet know it needed locomotion, powered by anything but its own muscle. Picture a simple sphere, poised delicately above a fire, its teapot-esque whistle, a playful whisper of potential. Attached at its sides are bent tubes, so that when steam flows, the sphere spins wildly, propelled by jets of vapor, a steam-powered pirouette to rival Baryshnikov at his finest. The Aeolipile didn't move the masses, but pivoted curiosity, much like discovering a stray plate becomes the perfect stand for that latest at-home, artisan noodle bowl attempt. This device was more of an entertaining spectacle than a practical tool, much like the satisfaction in watching a series of videos on productivity rather than actually doing productive things. Yet undeniably, it hinted at a revolution that was yet to come. Historians love to spin tales over whether Hero's invention was merely a party trick to amaze the intellectuals clustered around, cups of wine in hand. Or was it actually meant to spark something bigger? A dream that Socrates might have pondered while taking a morning stroll. there's debate, waged with the same fervor as the endless iOS versus Android foray that splits even the closest of dinner tables. And here's a little quirky tidbit for you. Skeptics assumed that Hero might have indulged in too much philosophical wondering, but his little engine signaled what could be. It's the manifestation of idle daydreaming, inspiring flights of fancy that leap into the realm of the feasible, like staring out a window, dreaming up worlds while avoiding that pile of laundry that refuses to fold itself. As you drift further into the realm of slumberland, remember that the clockwork of human dreams, like the steady turn of Hero's heated sphere, often starts quietly with a gentle sigh and a whispered, "What if?" Let the subtle spin of ancient ingenuity ground your thoughts as you float into dreams where questions and answers spin like dancing orbs of light, echoing with the soft, persistent rhythm of hopes waiting to reveal themselves in the waking world, wrapped in the comforting arms of night, where even time seems to take a breath and pause. Let's slip ourselves into the vibrant realm of the Phoenicians. They knew a thing or two about color, so much so that they crafted a hue worth its weight in myths and legends. This is the story of Tyrian purple, a shade so rich and rare it once outshone the might of gold. Picture yourself walking the sandy shores of an ancient maritime nation, where the sea breeze carries tales from distant lands. The Phoenicians, nestled amongst the bustling trade ports, were master creators of this famed dye. Derived from the murex snail, this process was as curious as it was smelly. Thousands of snails were required to yield just a single ounce of dye, an effort as daunting as rehearsing the perfect TikTok dance. It was a color graced only for royalty and the elite, ancient fashionistas who donned vibrant purples as statements more powerful than the latest red carpet gown. A cloak dyed this color was a king's declaration, a visual boom like an influencer's flawlessly curated Instagram feed, catching eyes and gathering likes. Only these likes were measured in salutes and nods of reverence. Historians still argue over whether the Phoenicians stumbled upon this process by accident, or whether the discovery was a cunning plan by an innovator who looked at snails and saw potential where others saw slow-moving slime. It's a debate with the sincerity of those ongoing arguments about whether pineapple belongs on pizza or if it was a culinary joke that got out of hand. And let's paint a quirky chuckle across your thoughts. Imagine Phoenician artisans peering over bubbling cauldrons of the stuff, perhaps with some leaky, archaic version of goggles, reminiscent of that frantic moment when you try to salvage a baking disaster before it overflows in the oven. The first person to wear Tyrian purple probably did so with the swagger of someone who just unlocks a first edition NFT. Sheer, unadulterated high-status vibes. As you nestle deeper into your cocoon of dreams, with these gentle, ageless stories slipping sweetly into your mind, remember that history's most striking legacies often pour forth from the strangest beginnings. Allow the hues of Tyrian purple to wash over you as it did the garb of the ancients, infusing your dreams with richness and depth that cradle you into a night of restful peace. A symphony of colors wrapping softly, coaxing you further and further into the realm of quietude. As you float softly, suspended between dreams and wakefulness, let's unfold the mysteries of a time when ancient innovation crafted a light as timeless as a candle's flicker. Tonight, let's wander down the meandering paths of medieval Japan, where dragons and crimson lacquer take center stage, heralding prophetic tales of seismology. You find yourself winding through a serene Japanese garden where even the cherry blossoms hold their breath, waiting for a story to spill itself under the watchful gaze of a tranquil moon. Here, centuries ago, stood a wooden tower, a flawless harmony of form and function known as the Japanese seismoscope. Tourists today may snap endless photos of its modern iterations, but its origins are steeped in legend and traditional craftsmanship as delicate as a handwritten haiku. In this realm, paper-thin walls didn't merely separate rooms. They hosted whispers of anticipation, quivers of the earth relayed by a device that was equal parts artistry and engineering, a symphony of wooden gears and iron bells strung with tension until a tremor sang through them with unsettling clarity. With each tremble, it asked subtly, "Are you ready for what's to come?" A gentle reminder of nature's power, much akin to nervously checking your phone for service updates before running out the door. Historians still gather, perhaps over cups of fragrant tea, to debate whether these seismic alarms were mere folklore woven amongst pagodas, standing stoic under the gaze of mountain-draped horizons, or if indeed they served a practical purpose that foreboded each quiver and shake of the land. It's much like debating whether the magic in a fairy tale is purely magical or has learned lessons hidden beneath its surface. Here's your chuckle to tuck you in. Imagine a team of monks adjusting these early warning systems with the precision of a swiping a touchscreen. Synchronized movements, occasional curses muttered under their breaths, the gentle bemusement of knowing they were both artists and emergency responders in their cryptic ballet. As you breathe slow and easy, nestle deeper into the embrace of your dreams, let the memory of those wooden towers and their mystical messages ease you further into slumber. Feel the rhythm of the earth itself, gently rocking you to rest. An ageless lullaby that spans continents and eras, resonating deep within as it cradles you through the quiet folds of the night, serenaded by untold stories whispered softly on the breeze. Let's softly drift into the tales of gleaming metal and the mysterious spark of early electrical ingenuity as night cradles your thoughts. Our journey takes us now to ancient Baghdad, where dusty scrolls and clay pots contain more than just grains or oil. An enigmatic force rests within, like hidden away inspiration waiting to unfurl. Imagine walking through an animated marketplace, the air thick with aromas of spices and the symphony of merchants hawking wares. Here, amidst the bustling life of Mesopotamia's golden age, rests a curious object, the so-called Baghdad battery. A squat clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, assembled in such a peculiar fashion that even modern eyes would squint in intrigue. Was it just storage for a wandering alchemist's lunch? Or a forgotten artifact with the power to illuminate ancient hallways? This, my friends, is where the story glimmers with both reality and conjecture. The Baghdad battery, named so dramatically, captures imaginations just like a viral video does when it lands unexpectedly but perfectly into your feed. It raises questions of ancient technologies flirting with the possibilities of electricity. An involuntary smile tugs when you consider it. Claypot notepads for recording. Who's to say those who crafted these weren't exchanging tips on how to wirelessly recharge their cookbooks? Historians are still embroiled in debate over whether it was used to electroplate precious metals, create mild shock therapies as ancient self-care, or simply, benignly, for purposes yet unimagined. As duplicitous as a download count for a ringtone back in their heyday, it's It's like arguing whether ancient folks were avant-garde scientists or just loved a good crafting session. Here's a little chuckle to warm you. Imagine those merchants, haggling in the markets, jokingly offering a battery not included with their clay jars, nudging each other's ribs with the timeless humor that something can both mean everything and nothing at all. As sleep begins to weave its threads around your thoughts, nestling closely as it sews dreams with delicate hands, let the warmth of ancient electrical mysteries spark a glow within you. This glow whispers that even the smallest, seemingly trivial inventions can ignite curiosity that echoes through time, shining light into humanity's endless pursuit of understanding the world. Dream gently now, letting each heartbeat fine-tune the mysteries you explore beyond the veil of night, where every dream is its own peculiar, beautiful revelation. Allow your thoughts to gently unfurl as we wander into the curious world of the Vikings, navigators of tempest-tossed seas and tales of valor born on icy winds. Imagine stepping onto the deck of a longship, its dragon-headed prow cutting through the waves under a sky painted with the ghostly glow of the aurora borealis. The air is crisp and the sea endless. Yet, the trusty crew does not fret, for they possess a secret navigational tool, the Viking Sunstone. Picture this: nestled safely among ropes, in cargo sits a translucent crystal, perhaps a chunk of calcite or a sliver of cordierite. Legend has it that even on cloudy days, or when the sun dips below the horizon, this stone could reveal the sun's position, allowing these ancient mariners to chart their course with almost supernatural accuracy. It's almost like having Google Maps, just without the annoying rerouting voice or notifications about places you'd never visit. Historians are caught in a whirlwind of discussions. Did the Sunstone truly exist as a marvel of early navigation? Or does it belong to the realm of myth and saga woven by the fireside? Much like the age-old debate of whether we actually made plans or just felt like we should. The stone's ability to polarize light and potentially indicate the sun's position might have been the only GPS Vikings needed, a charming thought worthy of raising a hearty toast. Here's a quirky sidebar to muse over. Imagine a Viking, battle-hardened and stoic, struggling to pull out this app from the deep confines of a pocket clogged with dust and crumbs of past voyages. Now, there's an image to chuckle over. Warrior meets weather-worn sailor, all trying to find their way without road signs or neon billboards to guide them. So, wrapped in the gentle embrace of night, as the stars twinkle overhead in their silent ancient dance, let the story of the Sunstone navigate your dreams. It's a warm reminder that even when the skies are overcast and the path seems obscured, inside us all lies an inherent ability to guide ourselves with instinctual knowing. Drift quietly now, where the Viking winds carry you to slumber, a place where dreams unfurl like sails against endless horizons, whispering of journeys yet to come. As the night serenades you further into its soft embrace, let us wander through the echoes of history to a place where ancient wisdom meets practicality in a dance both delicate and profound. Picture yourself amidst the bustling agora of classical Greece, where scholars muse and artisans craft wonders with deft fingers. Here lurks a tale of mythic invention, Archimedes and his perplexing death ray. Envision a shoreline where ships loom, sails unfurled and poised like great swans upon the sea. It's said that Archimedes, with a mind sharp as any warrior's blade, devised a means to protect his city, a death ray crafted from mirrors, capable of capturing the sun's brilliant rays and focusing them to ignite enemy vessels from afar. It's the kind of audacious idea that could either be a historical fact or a storyline from the latest epic crossover saga. Historians still argue, much like those friendly skirmishes over who owes whom dinner after binge-watching another series, about whether the Archimedes death ray was real or merely an ancient flex of creativity. Some believe it was merely a tale stretched with the elastic band of oral tradition, while others suggest that mathematically inclined Archimedes really did find a way to weaponize the sun's power, even if only theoretically. And here's a quirky thought to crinkle your mind. Picture crowds gathered in awe as polished shields and bronze mirrors directed the sun's flames, perhaps with Archimedes suggesting adjustments like a director at a photo shoot, light meter in hand. Imagine the ensuing chuckles as reality and myth blended seamlessly under that Mediterranean sun. Now, wrapped in the tender warmth of your own thoughts, feel the gentle tickle of possibility against your skin, the belief that even the most grandiose ideas might have a spark of truth. Allow the echoes of Archimedes to guide your dreams into realms where imagination knows no bounds. Drift quietly, lulled by the promise of ancient ingenuity, where each dream becomes a beam of light, searching and weaving through the fabric of night, casting gentle rays of hope into your slumbering heart.